Live.
Oh, and we're live.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing is trying to figure out if we're live or not. I think we are, though. I'm like 90% sure we are. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the first evening episode of Super Brunch Force, which we've decided to call Super Dunch Force. Because we're dumb idiots. And
Yeah.
that's what we've decided to do. So my name is Brendan Bigley. I am from a website called awfulbit.com that doesn't exist yet, but will very, 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 very soon.
Yes, and I am Mercer Smith-Looper from the very same aforementioned invisible site that will soon be so visible.
Yeah. It looks pretty good. It's been like 2 years.
Yep.
Has it been, or is it a year?
It's been about a year and a half
when
we first embarked upon this journey.
That's crazy. It's a long time, way longer than it should have been. I mean, we ran into some snafus. Gamergate was a bit of a bummer, but you know,
yes,
we've all crossed that bridge, and here we are on the other side, exploring a new world like Christopher Columbus, minus the killing of the people who live at the place that we find. Anyway, so generally, instead of talking about genocide, we talk about video games.
Yeah.
And Super Brunch Force, generally, at least the way we've always done it at our previous venture, was we each bring a story and we just talk about it. Just the best thing that we've heard about in the past week. So, Mercer, let's start with you, because you brought up something that I haven't heard about at all. And I consider myself pretty tapped in, so I'm interested to see.
Sure. So I'm surprised you haven't heard about this, but I guess you're not really a Square Enix fan individual, as I am.
Not as much as I probably should be. I've enjoyed everything I've played from them.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. So they were like, okay, so we've got this Final Fantasy 15 trailer. We're not going to release it at E3. Instead, we're going to release it at Gamescom. But
yeah, that's fucking how everyone is doing E3 since last year. It's just like, oh, we have an E3 trailer. Hey, here it is now. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Okay,
and so then they were like, oh, okay. And they did a live stream today, and they were talking about, you know, E3 and the Gamescom thing, because people are curious. They're like, oh, well, you've been teasing us about this Gamescom video. And so today during the live stream, they were like, actually, you know, we said we were going to make a trailer for E3, but JK. LOL. We're not going to have anything at E3. There's going to be nothing for you to see at all.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Like nothing at E3.
They're not going to have anything?
No.
Square Enix as a whole, for any game that they're working on? No,
they were just like, so we decided against this.
Okay, because the one thing that hasn't happened in these weeks leading up to E3 that I was excited about was potentially seeing anything Kingdom Hearts 3 related. And that's not happening. That's what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, they were just like, we've got nothing. We've got
live
nothing.
On the air, you're crushing my fucking hopes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Because that's what they did during the live stream today. They were like, yeah, remember we were talking about like having stuff at E3? Yeah, we just decided not to.
Oh my God.
And then they flashed like a tiny little picture, like a character image. I don't really know the technical term. I know that it's in my brain somewhere, but it's not coming to me.
Yeah.
Flashed that, and it was like kind of blurry, and it looked like a dude in like a trench coat holding a kid, and that was it. And they were like, this is all you get.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What happened to E3?
I don't know.
What happened to video games? Like,
I also didn't even know what Gamescom was, to be totally honest. I mean, I know that it's like a German thing.
Gamescom is pretty big. It's a pretty big deal. I think statistically, it's the big. The whole poster just fell off my wall. Yeah, I think that statistically speaking, Gamescom is the biggest games convention that exists in the world. It's just like the amount of announcements that happen there are not as broad as like a TGS or an E3.
The biggest game convention, or like
in terms of like
conference.
Conference, I guess, but just in terms of the amount of people going.
Okay.
It's huge. It's sprawling, you know, across it's like 3 times the size of the LA Convention Center or something. And from the videos I've seen, like that whole space is packed with people. It's like everyone in Europe goes.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's because like Europe, you can traverse pretty quickly, and that's like several countries there that would have to amass, whereas like the United. I mean, I guess that doesn't really make any sense because in terms of like spatial, the amount of space it takes up.
No, I think you're totally right. I think that's exactly why. It's just like there are so many people that can get there.
Yeah.
You know, and it is the one thing that happens in the UK, except for, is there a PAX? I'm sure there's a fucking PAX there.
There's a PAX in Australia.
Is there not? Okay.
There's not one in the UK.
That's really surprising, considering how many PAXs there are at this point.
I would imagine that they wouldn't put up with PAX's shit.
Yeah, you think so?
That would be my speculation. Is like there's so much shit surrounding PAX, and everyone is like kind of saying like boo hiss on PAX, except for now they're making these like new rules against like booth babes and stuff like that, which is helping them kind of get some up-ints again. But I think for a while they were like, oh, fuck Penny Arcade and fuck PAX. There was like a lot of that kind of stigma happening. And I think that in Europe, they're much more inclined to be like, yeah, fuck you, American twats.
yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know.
But that's crazy, that whole thing about Square Enix. That's a huge bummer. I was actually really looking forward to something Kingdom Hearts related. So, fuck it. Honestly, I don't even know what to look forward to at E3 anymore. I like all the games that I'm excited about have been announced already. And maybe like I have money down on the fact that the new IP that Microsoft is announcing. I don't want to be like a cynical dick on this first episode, but I think that the new IP that Microsoft is going to announce is just going to be a Battletoads reboot. Because they got the rights to Battletoads. I bet you they're going to be like, and a new IP. It's like, Battletoads. Just kidding. It's not new, but it is.
Battletoads is awesome, though. I would be pretty amped.
You know what I would be hyped about? Because Battletoads is hard. Like, Battletoads is a hard game, right?
Yeah, but it's great.
If they did like a full 3D Battletoads, right? Which sounds bad in concept, but they made it like a Dark Souls where it's just like so difficult, you know, but the combat is like tight as shit, but you're a toad who's like kicking shit. Oh my God, I would play that.
I'm sure you would. I don't know that I would.
I'm sure you would. Thanks. Oh my God.
If they made it an MMO, I'd probably play it.
Well, I'm hyped at that. Honestly, I think that would be really cool. But like, what is happening at E3? I remember last year, just every single game that was exciting was announced like a week beforehand. Like that whole thing with Uncharted today, where it was like, oh, whoops, that leaked onto the PlayStation Store a little bit early. I guess we'll just release the trailer today. Like, okay, fine. I'm trying to think. Like, there's just Dark Souls 3. There's already like an announcement about that's happening. Fallout 4, obviously. Oh shit, there's another one that I just forgot that happened on Monday. Oh no, that was Fallout. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Fallout happened on Monday because everyone was losing their mind all over the internet.
Yeah, and then just knowing like all the Nintendo stuff that happened already, where they were like, "Hey, we're not going to show Zelda. We're not going to show you the new console," which really only leaves like they're probably going to put out Mario Kart stuff, like more
Star
DLC.
Fox.
They're going to put out Star Fox. You know, they're going to announce Star Fox and release it at the end of the year, hopefully, unless Nintendo has nothing this year besides DLC for Mario Kart and Splatoon, and probably, I imagine, like some kind of Splatoon DLC for Smash Brothers.
On the note of Nintendo, and E3, can we just remember this time last year and Nintendo's like crazy robot chicken stuff?
Did you like that?
I thought it was very interesting. I have an ex that does all of the robot chicken stuff, so I like kind of don't like Robot Chicken because I kind of don't like him. But
yeah, I get that.
But I thought that was really interesting. I especially thought it was a bold move because Robot Chicken is not for kids, and Nintendo is like notoriously a children-based game company.
Yeah,
like family friendly, and Robot Chicken is like not family friendly. I mean, they made it so, but.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Honestly, I get what you're saying. I was very surprised, but they've been getting real weird. I don't know if you've been watching their Nintendo Directs recently, but they've just been like increasing in strangeness as time has gone on. Like they just did this whole thing where Bill Trinan, who is like the translator, he's like probably besides Reggie, like the most forward like public facing person who's working at Nintendo right now, but. They did a thing where on Twitter he said that he got fired from Nintendo. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, Bill Trinan got fired. This is so sad." And because like he's really big in the Smash community, he kind of reaches out to the Smash Brothers community a lot. So all the people that I follow on Twitter that are like big in Smash were like tweeting at him like, "Hey man, so sorry to hear like you lost your job. It's really upsetting. Like you've impacted a lot of our lives and like made us feel closer to Nintendo and blah blah blah." And then this Nintendo Direct comes out where Reggie's just walking around Nintendo and he just fires Bill Trinan as a joke and hires like a little 8-year-old to replace him who can speak Japanese. And everyone's like, dude, you were lying about being fired from your job on Twitter? Like, what is Nintendo anymore?
Don't even know what to say about that. I didn't know that happened, but that is crazy. It
was nuts. And he was like, oh, just kidding. I trolled all of you is exactly what he said. I was like, dude. You can't do that.
That is basically one of the better things that I've heard, though. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's like the April Fool's Day joke that everyone's like, don't tell anyone that you're pregnant on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't tell anyone on Twitter that you lost your job as a marketing stunt. Like,
yeah.
Don't do that, Bill. Oh, God. That's super weird. But, like, I don't know. I just don't think Nintendo has anything for E3 this year. They just announced a bunch of stuff at a Nintendo Direct last week. So, like, okay, they're going to have another one in a week that just says, like, hey, Star Fox exists. And we're all like, yep. And what else? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and,
Not that I'm not hyped about Star Fox. I don't want to, like, come off as seeming like I'm not stoked about Star Fox because that's going to be super good. And I think Miyamoto is, like, directing it. Shit.
They're coming for me.
They're coming for me. It's gonna be a long drive.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, you were saying Miyamoto.
Yeah, no, I think he's directing that game, which is actually really exciting, just based off the tech demos that he had. But anyway, you know, I'm enjoying Splatoon. I'm excited for DLC. I love Mario Kart to death. It's the best one they've ever made. I'm excited for more DLC. Smash Brothers I haven't picked up in like 5 months, but like if they put out a new character, I'll probably check out the new character and then go back to playing Mario Kart and Splatoon. But I don't know.
I've heard really good things about Splatoon from you and from Ron Funches.
Oh, were you listening to Indoor Kids?
Mm-hmm.
I just got in on the Indoor Kids hype train.
Oh, I love it.
That episode. It's really, really good. That's a great. They're so not cynical. They're so open and happy and like stoked about video games in a way that most people aren't anymore. And
I think it's because they're not involved in the industry. They're both comedians.
Yeah, they're both
like,
stand-up comedians.
Johnny. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that they talk about playing games, but like also I don't know if you haven't been listening to it for long, but like often Kumail Nanjiani will just go on tangents about like his favorite He-Man characters.
That's awesome.
And his wife will be like, "Nope, we're not doing this right now." And he's like, "Yes, we are. Yes, we are." And like that's what the whole thing will be. So it's I really like that podcast a lot. It's like a gaming podcast that I listen to anymore because everyone else is either like super cynical or is like very stuck in like the indie sphere, and it's like 3 hours long talking about indie games, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you just want to hear about people being stoked about the things you're also stoked about. I get it.
Yeah.
Actually, another podcast I just started listening to that just launched is the Beastcast, which is the Giant Bomb New York-based podcast that they just started. I think they're like an episode in.
How many people are on it?
Episode 0 had 3 people. Episode 1 has 4 people. So I don't know. They just hired this really good dude named Austin Walker.
Nice.
So he was on the first episode. It's super good though. They're also like very open and very like just happy about video games. And that's good. But anyway, getting back to it.
Yes.
So a very big game was announced the other day. Was that yesterday already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very big game was announced. And it was Fallout 4. And
2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Yeah. And simultaneously another game was announced at the exact same second as Fallout 4, and it's called Rocket League, and it is also for PS4.
Oh.
And it is my darling video game. It is like I have to step back. Rocket League is a game for PS4 and PC. It's going to be coming out on July 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a game where you are in a car with rockets attached to it in a stadium that is enclosed, like a soccer stadium. And it is a 4v4 rocket car soccer game. So you and 3 other cars with rockets attached to them play soccer, where you have to hit this giant ball, and you can like boost your way into the ball to hit it. It is incredible. It sounds crazy. It sounds like just if you were to say to someone like, "Hey, come up with a video game right now," knowing everything that you know about video games, they would probably be like, I don't know, rocket cars play soccer. Like, fuck it. You know, like it's like the first thing that would just bleed out of your nose when someone said like, come up with a video game concept.
Yeah.
And they have managed to take that idea to like a stratosphere that I could not have imagined. It is one of the most fun games I've ever played. And it's weird because I was playing it with Chris, who is someone else who writes for our site, and a couple of other people that I play Destiny with generally. We were all like, okay, let's get into this beta, because I had an open beta for a couple of days.
You told me about that.
Yeah, we were like, let's get into this beta. Let's try this game out. And we played it until probably, this was like a Tuesday, and we all had work the next day, and we played it till like 4 in the morning. And I remember talking to Chris about it, and I was just like, this is the first time I can remember since like Halo 3 was out that I've stayed up late playing video games with my friends and didn't have a second of frustration, didn't have like a second of downtime, just like constant fun 100% of the time. It is. So
do you think that it's your darling of the game because of that, or because it's actually a really good game?
I think it's like, because I've been wondering the same exact thing myself. I think it's really a 50-50, because the game is just so tight. It's like, okay, we're going to do one thing and we're going to do it perfectly. Like the game controls perfectly. The feel of like when you hit the ball into the goal, the ball explodes and every car on the field goes like flying away from whatever goal it was scored on, and then you know reset. There's this huge, probably invisible mechanical ceiling where just like people are going to get incredible at this game. And based on some of the videos I've seen, people already are incredible at this game, where they're like using the boost to literally fly through the air. Like I didn't even know that was a thing until after the beta happened, where you could use the boost to shoot yourself into the air and then like angle yourself up and then use the boost to like fly. And people are doing that. So like on one hand, just mechanically, it is one of the tightest games that has ever existed on the PS4 so far. And on the other hand, it's just really fun to play with other people, you know, and there's like an in-game chat window. So everyone's just like goofing off the whole time, because you can use the PS4 has like the little, there it is, has a little like touch bar. So you can like actually type pretty well. So they included an in-game chat so you can like type and talk to people. And just like constantly like mocking the other team and whatever. It's just like really, really, really fun. And they've done almost everything perfectly. But anyway, the game is launching. It's going to be July 7th. They announced it at the exact same time as Fallout 4, which may have been a bad idea. But the reason I wanted to bring it up is just because of how much of a following this game already has just after a couple betas. And I think that it's mainly due to just people posting GIFs online and like using the share feature, like the share button that's on the PS4 controller. Which like I remember when they announced that button at E3, when they announced the PS4, and everyone was like, wow, that's gonna be a really big deal. I wonder what that's gonna mean like for video games and Twitch and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and like that whole gaming culture. And everyone always just like kind of, you know, theorized that, you know, it's just going to mean that like communities behind games get bigger, you know, and let's plays we get bigger and blah, blah, blah. But I never thought in a million years that what that share button would do is actually make a game like a viable contender against a game like Fallout. Because like when I went to the Rocket League subreddit at the exact second that Fallout was announced and Rocket League was announced, like the Rocket League community was like, fuck Fallout. All I care about is Rocket League. Like, everyone, yeah, I don't know what it is. Like all the people that I play with also, like we have a Destiny Facebook message that's just constantly going, you know, it's just like constantly talking about like whatever weird dumb shit is happening in Destiny, and then we made a separate one just for Rocket League because we're just like, oh my god, when is Rocket League out? Oh my god, when is Rocket League out?
That's
like,
awesome.
It just it's like, have you ever played one of those games that just reminds you of why you would love video games?
Yeah.
This is that for me, which is crazy because it's like kind of a sports game, but it's not at all. You know?
Yeah, that sounds. I'm really happy that you found that. That's really
Thanks. Thanks.
No,
me and Rocket League are gonna get married.
Yeah. It sounds. I'll give it a try because you're speaking so candidly about it. But
you have a PS4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's rumored at the moment that there's going to be one more beta before it comes out. And then the other rumor, which I'm really excited about, is that it's going to be the PlayStation Plus free game of July. Like they're going to announce it at E3 that like, hey, Rocket League is this big weird phenomenon somehow. So we're just going to give it to everyone for free so more people can play it.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's the theory though. I hope that happens because I want that game to like just explode in popularity, but we'll see. But anyway, if there's another beta, I'll let you know. I'll also be posting it on the Awful Bit site, and which will be live by that point, and all of our social media accounts and all that kind of stuff. But if not, it's gonna be less than $20, is what they said, price point wise.
Nice.
For a sweet ass rocket game.
My thing like that was WildStar, and that got stolen from me.
That died.
I'm a little bit bitter about your happiness about your new thing.
Are you gonna go back? Are you gonna go back to WildStar?
I am. All of my people are thinking that they're gonna go back too, but they're all just as like burnt as me. They're like really upset that it died. Everyone's like talks about it like, you know how people feel about like high school when they're like 40 or whatever, and they're like, man, those were the days. Those were like the gold. That's how people talk about WildStar. Like my friends are like, those were the golden days of gaming, man. Like that was the best time that I've ever had in a game. And like I've heard this from numerous people. And I'm like, are you gonna go back when it's free to play? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
It's like the Pixies are having a reunion tour. It's like, well, I feel obligated to go.
I feel obligated to go, but will the shine be gone because I've been burnt once by you?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's free to play. It's happening in July or the beginning of August.
I may go back. I may check it out.
If it's free to play, it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, like why even? I don't know what they're doing. I'm sure there's like a premium currency or something, but I don't know. I'll probably go check it out again, especially if it's free. Because that was the one thing. Honestly, that was like the one thing that kept me out of it. Was like, because I've been on this endless quest to find a quest. An endless quest to find an MMO that I really really love, because I know that I could love that kind of game. Destiny has definitely taught me that. But I just haven't found the one that's like kept me involved. I know PlanetSide 2 is coming out for PS4 relatively soon. That may end up being it. Who knows? But WildStar is like the closest I've ever come to like a WoW-esque game that I really, really enjoyed. And I just couldn't bring myself to pay monthly for it. So maybe this is how I do it. Because the game is solid and funny and interesting. And like there's so much character and charisma in every aspect of it and so much detail. I really, really, really enjoyed playing it. Just couldn't do the cost at the time.
Yeah, I went back because I reached like all of my caps in World of Warcraft, like gear cap and everything. And so I was like, well, I literally have nothing else to do on this character. All of my achievements are capped. All of my gear is capped. What am I going to do? I was like, I'll go back to WildStar. That sounds like a good option for now. Yeah. And so I did, but it was so sad, like looking at my friends list and seeing like when was the last time people had signed in.
Yeah.
Or, like, were there any other players playing? Like I queued to get into a battleground and it took like 4 hours and I was like, well, looks like that's not gonna happen. And it just like sucked the soul out of me. So I might go back because I think free to play will draw a lot of more people back.
I hope so.
New players. So
the only problem is that like the only promotion I've seen for the free-to-play version of WildStar has been like amongst the WildStar community.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
think they
kind
spent
of
all their promotional money before the game came
at the
out.
launch. Yeah, exactly. It was like you could not escape. That game was like a Coldplay song that had just been released like a day before. Where like you couldn't walk into like a hair salon without seeing an ad for WildStar somewhere in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not super confident that community is going to grow, but it will at least draw the people like me who dipped out early on, I think.
We'll see. I mean, I'm kind of back in WoW now anyway, because it's like fucking herpes or something.
And we don't have to talk about it, but you said you were going to play The Old Republic.
Yeah.
Good luck. I played a bit of that. Played a little bit.
I have a lot of friends who've played it, and a bunch of my like WildStar and then WoW and then now like disenfranchised group of guild members are like, well, we could probably play Star Wars. And then they were like, wait, we already finished the game and the end game really sucks, but I guess we could like restart it with you. And I'm like, sure, I don't know. I'll give it a go. Like I'm not doing anything really. I mean, I'm trying to level up in Heroes of the Storm, but otherwise, like, I'm not doing much of anything.
Yeah, and Heroes just launched officially this week, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's like now is a great time for people to get into it who might be intimidated by like playing games with other people or playing MOBAs, because everyone who's playing it is like a real noob. And so like any kind of like quick matches, which is what I play a lot of, that just like randomly matches you with people.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too when I was playing beta.
Yeah. It's like all brand new people who are like, what? It's a lot of fun. I like seeing what people do when they first pick up the game, because I think that it's different from other MOBAs. So
yeah, I think people are probably not as used to how much teamwork comes into play.
Not even a little bit. Yeah,
you know?
No, not
it's
even.
Like, you know, you have three people like doing the thing, doing the objective, and then the one guy is like, I'm gonna hang out over here and I'm gonna shoot this guy with my crossbow, and everyone else is like, bro.
Yeah.
Cross bro, get over here.
Cross bro.
Yeah, well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, it does.
For the week. So I don't know when the site is going to launch, but it is done. It looks super pretty, and I'm excited to launch it. So I think that's going to happen really, really soon. And this video will be there. And it's awfulbit.com. And you can find us on Twitter @awfulbit, and on Tumblr, awfulbit.tumblr.com, facebook.com/awfulbit, twitch.tv/awfulbit, and youtube.com/awfulbit. We got
all of the awful bits.
Basically awful bit everywhere. So good shit. My name is Brendan Bigley.
And I'm Mercer Smith Looper.
And we sure did it. Nice. Bye, everyone.